Good morning from Iceland. I have with me today a beautiful woman, Dr. Andrea Pennington. She is a fellow member of ATL Europe. She is a success-oriented leader in a personal transformation and professional media branding with a passionate drive for excellence. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my guest today, because for over 20 years, she has graced the TV screens, magazines, blogs, and radio waves of the largest global media brands in the world, including Oprah Winfrey, CNN, Huffington Post, and more. Dr. Andrea believes that you are a gift to the world, and there is an audience waiting for your message, product, or service. So she is excited to share with her three-step system for media success to get you the TV, radio, and internet exposure to boost your brand's profile. I can tell you, Andrea, I personally am super excited to listen to you today, and I know that our audience is going to be just the same. I mean, I don't know, how can you not be?
Thank you.
So welcome to this special Small Business Branding Day seminar series that we set up to introduce to our audience the marvelous speakers that are going to embrace us with their presence on the September 6th here at the Blue Lagoon in Iceland. Welcome, Andrea.
Oh, Runa, thank you so much. It is an honor and a pleasure. I am so thrilled to be working with you again, and I'm honored because we have such an incredible lineup. You have put together as I call it, a group of rock stars in branding and business. So I'm very honored to be amongst you. And yes, I am very excited about this information because it's, as you said in the intro, there really is an audience for everyone. And I'm so excited when I see people tap into their niche, their own little special audience, and share their special message with the world. So I'm excited to share my insights on what I've learned in the last 20 years.
Oh yeah, and that is quite a lot, and that's the thing. I think that having such a role model, a big role model like yourself, who has actually gone through all of the things that I think most of us are at least we want to get a taste of it. That actually brings me to my first question, and that is about the evolution of your own brand. Now you're a doctor.
Yes.
Now you're turned into a brand strategist. Why?
Wow. Well, you know, as a medical doctor and even doing a little bit of surgery, I'm trained in, you know, diagnosis and treating medical conditions and even taking out unhealthy tissue. And so as a consultant, I almost do the same thing. But the reason I've been into this branding world is I started working in the year 2000 for Discovery Health Channel. We had just launched the Health Network, and mind you, the Discovery Health Channel has now been transformed into the Oprah Winfrey Network. And when I started there, they said, oh, you know, you have a face for TV, but you look so young, no one's going to believe that you're a doctor. So I was determined. I really felt like I wanted to be on TV, and I shot some video and convinced them that I could do it, and they ended up putting me on air. I anchored the health news for a couple of years. I had my own TV show and hosted just a whole ton of daytime shows and evening shows, documentaries, the whole works. But what we did to convince people that I was indeed old enough to be a doctor is we put on a certain amount of makeup, and they styled my hair in a certain way, and I always wore these kind of jackets to try to make me look like an authoritative and older news anchor. And I, you know, as an actor, which is my first love, I felt like, okay, I can do this. Why not? I'm just playing a doctor on TV as this, you know, news anchor type. And it worked for a while, but when I started to get recognized outside, you know, I'd be at the grocery store or in the airport, people related to me as that branded Dr. Andrea, and I felt like she was boring, She was kind of prudish, kind of an uppity know-it-all, and that's not who I am. I mean, as a healer, I work with compassion and love and energy, and when I ended up opening a wellness spa, I had to rebrand myself. And to be honest, Runa, I've shared this with you before. I was miserable. I had, just been on the Oprah Winfrey Show, published a book, had a multi-million-dollar business, but I wasn't feeling fulfilled because I wasn't fully using all of my passion and talents. And then on top of it, I was getting looked at as this Dr. Andrea brand that wasn't consistent with who I am. And that's why I'm so passionate now about helping people be conscious when you're creating your brand, because if you're creating a business today that you hope to be in for the next 1, 3, 5, 10, or 20 years, then you really want to make sure it's sustainable and that it's going to bring you pleasure and joy every day. And for me, it wasn't. So in 2005, I actually had to kill her off. I killed off that Dr. Andrea messenger and rebranded myself. And now, when you see me on the last Oprah Winfrey that I did and Dr. Oz and all these other shows, you'll see more of the real me. And that's what I want to bring to people.
Yeah. So really the difference of being something that you think you're supposed to be doing and turning it into this is really something that this is me, I'm comfortable that.
Yes.
I'm good about that. I feel aligned with the things that I'm doing. Yeah. How many of us are actually in that position? It's an interesting perspective. And so what I'm learning when you say this is also that there is also, I often get that question myself, can I actually rebrand myself? If I've always been doing this, can I rebrand myself?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're a living example that it's possible, because your success in the as a brand strategist is tremendous. So another question: how should a small business person who feels that their product is perfect for TV, how should he or she get started?
Oh, that's a great question. The beauty of television is you can go global. You don't even have to go into the studio many times to get yourself on TV. So the first thing is to really think about your product from the success standpoint. So if you have a book or you have a new tool or a product or even a service, even a seminar, think about it from the success. What is the success story about your product that you think somebody in the morning watching TV as they're, getting ready to take the kids to school or getting ready for work, what would make them stop, look at the TV and say, oh, I have to watch this quick story? Think from success. And then you work your way backwards. Most people feel like, oh, if I've got a little website and a cute little book icon next to, a sign-up button, that people are just going to get it. Or as soon as I'm on Amazon, won't the TV people find me? Well, not exactly. You actually have to think of just getting on TV as a separate business. I mean, at least in terms of planning, it requires that you actually give some thought and some strategy. And again, from learning from my mistakes, sometimes you'll end up with a TV person saying, yeah, I'll put you on, and then, oh, you're not even ready because you haven't thought through all of these steps.
Yeah, so thinking about that success. So what really it's about, what tickles that mind? Exactly,
because if you think about TV producers, now when I produce for TV, what do we want to do? We want to keep our audience entertained. There are over 400 cable and satellite channels. So what is going to keep my audience watching the TV and not clicking that button to go to another channel? It's the same thing online. What's going to keep them engaged? So if you think about the success of what your book is, not just the title and your background, but what is this book promising? And then if you tease that up, as part of your headline, for example, when you're sending out a press release to news agencies or you're sending out an email to a potential producer.
Mhm.
You want to say, you want to lead with that success.
Yeah.
So
No,
that's what's going to attract people and make them say, hey, what? She can help me lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks, or she can help me double my business income with this 30-day strategy. Whatever that success is, that's what you want to tease and tickle them with. And then you can follow through with explaining why your product is different and why you are the perfect spokesperson to be on that TV show.
exactly. Exactly. That's a very good point. And probably a little bit tricky to think about when you need help with this because you are so stuck with the things that you're doing and too too much of an involved with it. So yeah, you need help from someone to like yourself to get clarity on that. What is exactly that success thing that I'm talking about?
Yeah, I find that for many people, it's not intuitive. They assume, and this is another one of those big mistakes, they leave the interpretation of their product or service to the imagination of the producer or the imagination of your potential clients. So if you just give a book title and a cute picture, you're leaving it up to the viewer to interpret, what does this mean for me personally? And it just doesn't work that way. You've got to think it through for them and serve it up on a platter for them.
Yeah.
And I find, people do need help. Once you get a little bit of training, it's easy, and you're a master at helping people get that clarity around their brand, and I'm sure that they just take off. And what I find is nowadays, with the folks that I've been working with since I moved to the south of France, I'm working with all of these people who've had incredible success in one area of their business, and now they are trying to reinvent themselves, or they're recent MBA grads. They're people who are really feeling like they're getting a fresh start. And what I find is that they get a little bit intimidated by the amount of competition out there. Mm-hmm. It's a very competitive market when you consider there's, bazillions of websites out there and hundreds of YouTube videos being uploaded every minute. So what are you going to do to stand out? Yeah, you need just a little bit of training, but it's not about competition for the sake of, being like someone else, only better. We call that better sameness. No, this is about finding your unique, awesome sauce, as I like to call it, and making sure that your brand message is sort of drizzled throughout all of your communications so that you're standing out as a distinct, unique entity that will attract that attention. It does take a little bit of practice or training, but that's why you're here, that's why I'm here, that's why we're doing this Small Business Branding Day. And I've got some free resources even online for people who want to start being conscious and deliberate about your success.
Oh, perfect. Is that something that you could maybe share with our audience today? Where can they go to get that freebies?
Absolutely. You can go to brandwhoyoureallyare.com and you can sign up to receive the 5 Keys for Media Success training. It's a free video training that will walk you through what I consider the 5 major keys. And these are the things that you want to master and put in place before you start contacting the media. So it helps you really think through crafting your brand identity, your message, your niche, how to prepare all of your electronic press kit materials, and then, of course, how to present yourself professionally and authentically in all of your interviews and presentations.
That's quite a lot that you're giving out there.
It is. It's my gift to the world because,
wow,
okay,
yeah.
Maybe everybody cannot come to Reykjavik in September, and maybe they can't come to Monaco where I'm teaching now. So at least you can get access to some of these resources for free online. Right now I have a waiting list, believe it or not, for new clients. So I can't even start with new clients for some weeks now. So yeah, it's a lot, but I figure there's nobody else really teaching this kind of material in this way.
Yeah.
And it really is about consciousness, because Runa, you know this. You've seen it as you've watched your clients transform. When you are really ready to create a business that is touching millions of lives, that requires an internal transformation in yourself. If you're going to embody some new brand identity, that means you've got to transform inside of yourself to have that confidence and authenticity to share that with millions of people. And that takes time and practice.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it definitely does. It's all little baby steps that you take. And it's a wonderful thing to see that actually the first thing and the major step is to make that decision.
Yes.
To do it. And that's absolutely the first step. And it sounds easy when you say it, but you see it I see it with my clients, probably just like yourself, that when you're there and one has seen, okay, I'm going to take that step, that's basically it. Then they can actually go. So wanting is the coordinates there. Can you tell us, because you're going to be giving us at the Small Business Branding Day, September 6th here at the beautiful Blue Lagoon in Iceland. Can you tell us what is it that you're going to be teaching our attendees?
I'm going to take them through my 3-step success system that is really designed for people who are ready to dig in, master their brand identity, and share it with the world. It starts off with that clarity, that confidence and clarity in your brand identity, knowing when you really want to get into the media, you need to know what are the elements that are required to, as I said, attract a potential media booker or a show producer or an editor. Mm-hmm. And so we get into that. You know, I have a little bit more time when I'm with you guys in Iceland, so I'll be able to go into more detail on that. And, you know, the second piece of that system is crafting your message and crafting your materials. So it's that M&M. It's materials and messaging. So once you've got your brand identity, now how do you create that desire in people where you're authentically, again, it's not about, you know, just marketing hype. This has got to be really in line with what you can honestly deliver. So we'll get into that about crafting messages, because a lot of people don't realize that, you know, internet, radio, and television, even if you're quote-unquote nonfiction, this is still show business. So you've got to allow us to really see and feel and hear and experience your brand or your product or your message. And that takes a little bit of training. And then the final step is really sharing it with the world. And I will include specific strategies on how to get your message out into the local media, so in your hometown or your country. But for those people who want to go global, who want to work in Europe, or those who want to branch out into America, I will share my expertise in doing that. So it's going to be an intense, jam-packed session with all those other amazing business branding and expansion experts that you've assembled. So I'm really, really looking forward to it.
It is really going to be something else. I can't wait, because I know that even though I'm in this business myself, I know that I'm going to be learning a lot. And the more you learn, the more you grow. And so it's just an honor to have all of you with us on this very, very special day. I actually have quite a special announcement that that I think is a perfect place actually to share with our audience today. We've been actually thinking about how can we give to those people that are not going to be able to come to the actual event. How are we going to give them the opportunity to learn from all of the speakers that day? And even to the ones who can come, we are actually going to offer them the whole package, including video recordings of the whole day. It's going to be in one package together. So actually, it is a boost for them. They're going to be able to buy that package. It actually, we only have a very small amount of number of packages in there, but everyone who actually has bought their ticket or will buy their ticket before tomorrow midnight Icelandic time will get that. So it's not only they're going to have a seat at the event, they will also have the recordings afterwards, so they can go back, if there's anything that they drifted away or would like to get more deeper into or listen to again, or whatever it is, they have that opportunity. And I personally think that is quite an additional bonus, wouldn't you say?
Oh, that's incredibly valuable. Absolutely. I know for me personally, when I go to workshops and seminars, I find that as I'm soaking up the information and I'm furiously taking notes, there are things that are relevant to me in that moment. And then when I get home and I want to do more, I'm looking back over my notes, but you're right, there may be things that you miss. So I love that they will be able to get all of it, including video, which I think is wonderful. Because we need that. We need that little extra help. And because you have 9 experts sharing their expertise in everything about building your business and your brand, there might be elements that you need to work on today, and then in 2 months' time, you're ready for that next step, so you can go back to this bundled package that you've created. So what a gift. Thank you for that, Runa.
Well, we do hope that it's actually something that people can use, because we know that it's needed. And just like you say, you're ready for something today, you're ready for the next step 2-3 months later. So having that is crucial. I know I use the video training quite a bit myself when I'm learning myself, and so I know how good it is. My final question to you, Andrea, before we say goodbye and head into the day. Now, you work a lot with coaches, and like you said, you're working a lot with alternative health practitioners, therapists. What specific challenges do you see that they're facing when they're getting on TV or landing a big media coverage?
That's an excellent question. Yes, working in the wellness and alternative healing space and even life coaching space has brought some interesting challenges because, for one, almost anybody can kind of put themselves out there as a coach, and even to some extent as a healer, depending on your country and what the laws are. So for one, there's a lot of competition, but number two, in the minds of the potential consumer, your potential client, there's a lot of distrust. Like a lot of people are wary of life coaches and certain types of healers because they think, well, if there's no formal regulation, how do I know that you're the real deal? And how do I know that this isn't just some weird spiritual mumbo jumbo? And so I find that with my clients that are really gifted in the space of transformation and healing and coaching, that one of the things you need to do with your branding is to just deal with that up front as to why you can be trusted. And again, for me, Runa, this really comes back to tangible success stories. And this is like a twofold challenge, because for most of us in healing and transformation, we don't want to brag about our success. It's not something that we walk around saying, ooh, look what I did. But at the same time, if you want people to have confidence that you are the real deal, then you will have to lead with your success. And that means finding a couple of tangible stories that people can relate to of how you and your method have helped transform people's lives. And it's a tricky challenge, but it's an exciting one, because at the same time that there's this level of distrust, there's also an incredible hunger and need in the marketplace. Coming from America, where we have so many health conditions and pain conditions that are causing us to overspend money and have to take off of work, there are a lot of people that are suffering that need what you have to offer. They need your solutions. So if you're able to confidently and passionately share your success, you're going to find that there is an audience just waiting, hungry for what you have to offer. And And once you start that, if you consider it to be an ongoing relationship where you're talking to them, you're talking about their fears, and you're meeting their needs, you will find that you have loyal clients for life, honestly.
You do have actually, you do get evangelists. You do. And
Yeah,
they're going to
yes.
be the ones who are going to talk about you. Absolutely. Absolutely. Beautiful. Yeah. And I really like that. Really like, and I can relate to just what you said. Absolutely beautiful. So we're gonna wrap this up, Andrea. What a beauty to have you here in the morning session for me. It's actually, we started at 8 o'clock my time, so it's right and early in the morning for me. And I know that we're getting people coming to the event from various places on this planet, so that is exciting.
Yes.
Yeah, very exciting. One last thing, anything that you would like to end with?
Oh, I just would love for people to remember that if you feel an inspiration to share your product, your message with the world, trust that intuition, trust that inspiration, because that means there's somebody waiting for you. And so don't delay, take action. Again, you can visit brandwhoyoureallyare.com to get free access to my video training series in the 5 keys for media success. And just get started. Reach out. I know that there's an audience waiting for you, and a little bit of small business branding magic is just what the doctor ordered.
I like that. What the doctor ordered. What a perfect thing for you to say. Okay, I love that, Pitch. I think with that, I'm going to say thank you so much, Andrea. We look forward to seeing you here in Iceland, September 6th. We're going to have one heck of a time. There is a link here right on the website that you can go into to finalize and get your seat over there. In short, it's just branded.is that you go into. We are actually offered both the services to pay in US dollars and in Icelandic kronas for our fellow Icelanders who want to join us. So thank you so much, Andrea.
Thank you so much, Runa. You are truly a gift. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.